have to recognize the fact that I do feel like here at SMU, the alignment we currently have from the top down is as good as it's ever been. You know, so the support we get from Dr. Turner in his office, from our board led by David Miller, from our athletic department led by Rick Hart, the support that we're getting allows us to do what our staff was able to do with this recruiting class. So we have to recognize that. Also, our partners on campus. You know, there's a lot that goes into it that people don't know. So when you're going to bring in 33 new players, 19 of them mid-year, that's tough because athletics, especially football, we don't follow the normal enrollment cycle. And so our partners in admissions and housing and student affairs, they were great with us on this deal. Spouses and family members of our staff, you know, you take the season, that's a lot what we do. But before and after the season, all that goes into securing a great class, they sacrifice a lot. And then I don't want to miss anybody. I know a lot of them probably aren't even in here, but if you are a part of our recruiting department, please stand up. Okay, I don't want to name them by name. Go ahead, anybody. If you touch and there's a lot more like student workers, hourly workers that aren't even in here that deserve a lot of credit behind the scenes that really supported our coaches and did a lot to help us do what we did. Now, to the facts and the details. So we signed 33 total signees right now, 17 transfers, 16 high schools, so pretty good balance there. 19 of those are mid-year. So 19 of those are here working out with us right now. 14 of them will show up the 1st of June, and that number could grow. So we may not be totally done yet. But of the 33, 14 on defense, 19 on offense. 33 of them, okay, coming in, 21 out of the 33 from the state of Texas. Now, honestly, that number is probably lower than it will be most years. And I'll get to the uniqueness of that in a minute. But still, 21 of the 33 are from the state of Texas. Of those 21, 12 out of the 21 are from the Dallas Metroplex here. Okay? And so that's what we say, you know, Dallas is kind of our home state. You see the plenty of Dallas, Dallas's team. That's what we believe in. That's who we are. We try to back it up. Of the transfers, 8 transfers, okay, were from coming back to SMU, but from somewhere from the state of Texas, like they went to high school in the state of Texas. And 4 of those 8 transfers were from the Dallas area, so 50%. Of our entire 16 high school signees, 8 of the 16 are from the Dallas Metroplex. So, you know, you think the state of Texas, you think Dallas. Now, 5 of the 16 high school kids are from the greater Houston area. 3 of the 8 in-state transfers were from the Houston area as well, so good presence there. Of the uniqueness of the 12 that are not from the state of Texas, either out of high school or from high school but transferred back in, 6 of them are from the University of Miami, and 2 of them are from Liberty. So that's 8 that probably because of previous connections our staff had when they went to portal came. Again, most years we're going to recruit the state of Texas out of high school. 13 of our 16 high school signees are from the state of Texas. And usually the transfers are coming back and they probably played their high school football in the state of Texas majority of the time. Not big into numbers, but they are out there in their facts. You know, this is 2 years in a row we've had a top 50 class in the country. I think we're 41st right now, number 1 in the group of 5. And consensus top 10 transfer class, number 4 I think is the highest that's been. So that's some details there. Then just some facts about the class. Of the transfers, there's 43 career starts of the offensive players that transferred in. So the offensive transfers, we brought in 43 career starts, another 31 games played. So we're not bringing in guys that have been backups and not playing much. On the defensive side of the ball, 5 of the transfers have double-digit career starts. Of the 5 transfer DBs, 99 career starts. So we wanted to go get some depth at that position, but we got guys that have played. Okay. Then you just go break it down by side of the ball. Offensively, we're bringing in both this is high school and transfer, 5 wide receivers. Really think we upgraded or added speed and productivity there. 3 tight ends. Feel like there's a lot of multiplicity there. We like versatile tight ends who can play in space. I'll get to that when we see the video. 7 offensive linemen. Okay, both high school and grad transfers. 2 running backs. From the lineman standpoint, we felt like we added length and versatility in terms of positions they can play. Running backs, we're trying to gain explosiveness. Feel like we did that. And then 2 quarterbacks. 1 out of high school. It's the 2nd year in a row. Really the 3rd year in a row We've signed the top quarterback out of the Metroplex. And then we also went, because being candid, the last 2 years, the quarterback position, usually you stay pretty healthy. We've had some injuries. This year at one time, both Tanner and Preston were down, and Kevin's playing in the game, and we didn't have another scholarship quarterback on the roster, much less on the sideline. My last year at Miami was the same way. We lost 2 of our 3 scholarship quarterbacks. Our last 8 games we played with our only scholarship quarterback and our 5th-year walk-on signaler. So we felt like we needed to try to add depth to that room, even though we feel good about the quarterbacks on our roster. I think we did that. On defense, I already alluded to the fact that of the 60 DBs, 5 are transfers, and there's over 99 career starts. D-line, we brought in 5 D-linemen, so you see the emphasis on both sides of the ball up front. Of those, 3 of them are high schools, and the 3 high school D-linemen we signed are all from the state of Texas. They were all state players. One of them was a district player of the year. And then we added 3 linebackers, 2 high school, 1 transfer. We feel like there's a lot of athleticism and versatility there. So that's kind of some big picture overview. How this is going to work. You'll see the screens, we're going to hit it. I'm going to go from top to bottom, starting with, I think, the down back position, quarterbacks all the way down to DBs. There's 2 or 3 clips, I think 2 per player. I'm going to kind of talk through it as we go. You'll be able to see it a little bit. And then when I'm done, I'll get out of here. We'll turn over to Coach Natty and our assistant coaches, and they can give you more of the background, more of the details. So, let's see if I can make this work. All right, starting off first with Keldrick Luster. Like I said, top quarterback in the area, in the Metroplex. Coach Johnny Brewer did a great job when we first got here of identifying him. A couple things about Keldrick. 10,000 career total yards and over 100 career touchdowns. This is him. He played both in Frisco and McKinney over his career. Not great standing in one place. Let's see how we do with this. All right. Here we go. Hit play. You see him throwing a deep post there, so he's got plenty of arm strength. He's a true dual threat, though. You can see him here. That's something we'll have on our roster this year, from Preston to Kevin and even to Keldrick, guys that can really make plays both with their arm and when things either break down or by design with their feet. You see here. A lot of coaching goes on this kind of play.
Yeah, we got a drill for that.
Coach Brewer's got a drill just for that. We'll start it on March 2nd. Then, like I said, we felt like we needed depth, and that's hard to do when you feel really good about your current roster's quarterback situation, to go out and find a potential veteran guy who wants to come to your school, knows he's probably not going to be the starter, but wants to be a part of the team. And I think Coach Brewer and our staff did a good job finding Alex Padilla. Actually started 3 career games over the last couple years at Iowa, played in 13 games, and that's where being a grad transfer, the education here at SMU, the city of Dallas plays in big, because he says, yeah, I'll come be a backup and get a master's at SMU. I'm okay with that. And that's hard to find that, and like I said, I think our staff deserves a lot of credit for finding that, because now we have 4 scholarship quarterbacks on our roster, for if we need it. He played in a much different type of offense, and I think a lot more wordy and slower than what we do. So he'll have quite an adjustment to make. But again, you can see a veteran guy with some experience, a college graduate. We're glad to have Alex. All right, now we get to the running back position. This guy goes by the nickname the Rooster. I'll let him at some point tell the media why that is. Actually, me and some of the staff here, right when we got to Miami, he was part of the first class there. Got to play for us. He's a mid-year guy. He's here. And his second year was good as a true freshman, played, and then his sophomore year was our last year there. Here's the irony. We've got 2 clips, and neither one's a running play. I promise you can run it. But you'll see some of the explosiveness and the potential for long plays and game-breaking plays here. Just taking a swing out of the backfield, making a guy miss, and rarely going to be caught. And he's actually got pretty good size. I don't know exactly what it is, but he's not small. I think he led the ACC, the entire conference, in yards between the tackles this year. Here he is against Florida State on an angle route out of the backfield. Again, you can see he's not just a fast guy. He's got some physicality to him, some strength right there. Again, really good play call, really good coaching. All right. LJ Johnson is next. So LJ, here's a unique fact. We didn't do it by design, and they both came via the transfer portal with Kamari a year ago and now LJ this year. But we now have on our roster the top 2 running backs for the 2020 class in the state of Texas. These guys were both 4 stars coming out of high school, both Rooster and LJ. They're different types of backs, but I can tell you they both have a lot of athleticism. This is actually high school. LJ did play at A&M a little bit this year. You can see he's built a little bit bigger, going to look more like a Tyler Levine in his pads. But as you can see, he's got some wiggle, some twitch, and some explosiveness as well. So we feel like the current guys we have coming back and running back, plus these guys, we think adds a lot to the backfield. Okay, like I said, we signed 5 wide receivers, 3 out of high school, brought in 2 via the transfer portal. This is Jackson Lavender. You'll see Jackson had really good production as more of a slot receiver, really productive with the ball in his hands. He's a really good kick returner, but he has great speed. I think he's a little at or under a 10.7 and 100 meters, which is pretty fast. And you'll see him here on the kickoff. There's actually going to be a couple in a row that you'll see while we still feel like we have a couple good ones on our roster, some guys who can return some kicks.
Nice. There it goes.
And again, 10.7 speed reminds me of me in high school. He's not going to get caught very much. Jamarian Carroll, he was a 4-star. Why is everybody laughing at that? I don't understand. Jamarian Carroll out of Wichita Falls. This was a big one. You know, Coach Likens and our staff did a really good job early on of recognizing this and connecting. And Jamarian committed pretty quick and had a lot of options, as you'll see after this play, why, and stuck with us. You'll see him at the top of your screen. This was one of probably the plays of the year in high school in terms of just an incredible play. And he shows his size, his strength, his speed. He's a big, fit guy. Reminds you of a number 11 size-wise that just left us. That poor guy couldn't even knock him down. He didn't know he was coming. And the other thing that was impressive, Coach Likens and I went to watch him play, and he didn't make a lot of, his stats weren't great his senior year because, I'm not kidding, I've never seen this in high school. Like, when I played in high school, we had a pretty good receiver. He led the state receiving. People would double cover him. People were triple covering this guy. Literally, 3 of their 11 people would cover him. And they were having to put him in like a running back and stuff to get him the ball. But when they didn't triple cover, and this happened, so it made sense that's why they were. So we're excited to have him with us. I think he fits in exactly to what we've had in the past and what we want to have as outside receivers. Randy Reese from SOC, 2-time state champion. Sorry, got a little quick trigger there. Again, return guys, this is going to be a punt return. Randy was also a team captain of a 2-time state championship team. He's also had a pretty good connection with one of the quarterbacks on our roster in the past. But you can see, he's, you know, to me, him and Jackson are really built for what we like to do with our slots, and then you see what Jamarian can do on the outside. I think that fits. Now, obviously, again, you have connections. When certain guys decide they want to transfer, it's no different than recruiting people out of high school. In high school, you build relationships to recruit them. When people get in the transfer portal, you don't have the same time to build relationships. So it's either people maybe you coached, like in this case, or people maybe you recruited and went to another school, but you had that relationship with them. Keyshawn Smith's actually out of San Diego, California, came to us at Miami, and now we've got him halfway closer to home. So you can see again, returning a kick this past season. Both of these clips are actually from this past season, but he started for us last year. I was at Miami and was our second leading receiver as an outside receiver. And he's long, he's athletic, he's explosive, he's wiry. I think speed and length is what you're going to see. Speed, length, and productivity at the receiver position from these guys. Got really good hands, can catch the ball again. Has played for a couple years now in college and been very productive. So we're excited to have Keyshawn here, who also, and Romelo's going to be the same way, knows our offense, you know. So there's going to be a pretty quick transition for some of these guys. Romelo was actually a top 25 receiver in the country coming out of high school. We coached him his freshman year there. Played some as a true freshman. I think he might have even been the second highest rated receiver in the entire state coming out of high school because we were competing with everybody for him. But you'll see at the bottom of your screen, again, Coach Likens has ball drills for this one. I think there's going to be a different angle replay. Some of y'all probably already seen it on social media or whatever. This was, I think, a SportsCenter top 10 play, and deservedly so. They called it incomplete at first. They were wrong. Yeah, so again, a lot of coaching there. And you'll see him here again. He's got size, he's got length. While he may not, he may be from a, Rasheed Rice was fast, but wasn't as fast as, say, Jordan Curley. Keyshawn Smith is more fast like a Jordan Curley. Romelo's probably more athletic and twitchy like a Rasheed. Both are actually pretty good, so we're good with that. And I think they all complement each other well. But again, really good young player who's played in our system. All right, now you get the tight end. One of the things we look for, we play in space a lot with our tight ends. And so it's really hard to find the guys that have that in-between hybrid size. They can block when they need to. They can play out in space. But we've had success with guys here in the past. Colin Granson was a high school receiver. Even went to Rice and played receiver. Came here, became a tight end. R.J. Maryland was a high school receiver. He's in that process of that, but you saw how productive he was this year. So now you got Lonnie Johnson. Lonnie was from here in the Metroplex, really versatile athlete. He's playing running back here, and you can see him. He's going to kind of take the screen, and then you'll just see his overall length, size, athleticism. You get a guy like this, and he gets in a college weight room with Coach Grizz for 12 to 24 months, and there's no telling physically what his body would grow to, but he's going to keep and actually get more explosive. Again, in space, can make plays. Here he is now flexed out as a wide receiver. So I'm showing you two clips, and he's never actually playing tight end. So some of it's development and projection. But again, he has the athleticism that as his body fills out, we think he'll fit into that role really well. Excited to have him. Then you got Tripp Reardon, a little bit more of a traditional body type tight end, which is good. But you can see he's got athleticism. He can catch the ball. He's good in space. He's going to be at the top of your screen. I may have skipped one on him. I think I did. But again, you see the size. You see the length. He'll be able to go up and make the catch. He has that ability as well. And he's got the size and the body that's going to really get big. So he'll be probably ahead of some others in terms of being a hand-down blocker once he develops. And then we added one late from high school out of Miami, same high school that Romello Brinson went to. Adam Moore goes by Man. That's my nickname too. And you can see again, he's out at receiver, and Man's bigger than both RJ was coming out of high school and bigger than Lonnie. Like, he's a pretty big guy. And to see him being in space, making some of the plays he makes with the physicality. Again, if you look even in the NFL, what the best tight ends in the league, you look at the Super Bowl, the two guys, Goddard and Kelsey, they play in space a lot. That's the kind of guys we want. And you can see here, if you can throw fades to a guy, you get him matched up on a corner, but then he can also do the other things. So again, 3 tight ends there. 7 offensive linemen. That's fine. No one's ever said we have too many good offensive linemen. So Sean Scott out of California, to high school, got good length. Coach Justice, Coach Brewer, Coach Woods, I think about our whole staff at some point went out there and saw him, and we just really feel like his upside is really, really high. He's got the length. You can see him up top to the right. It's hard, when you watch film of O-line and you see him pulling here. They don't get a lot of the credit on game day, and their highlights aren't ever as cool. But he's long, he can run, great family, and we just feel like that he's got a chance, much like Marcus Bryant has done, to develop into a really good football player over time here. Again, finding really good long athletic tackles is tough. It's like, finding good tight ends as well. Now another one out of Florida, actually, Treasure Coast. This is where relationships and connections work out with Alex Woods. Coach Justice actually coached his brother, so that never hurts. And I guess he did a good job because they're allowing the other one to play for him. And this is Treasure Coast. It's going to be hard to see. They don't exactly run an offense anywhere near like ours, but he's the guy right in front of the little fullback here. And again, the second clip is going to probably be better, but He's a really athletic guard body. Again, has versatility. He has the length and athleticism to grow into a guard that could also play outside some if need to. You're going to see him pull here. He'll be the first guy pulling out after they do all that funky stuff. There he is. He's the first lineman pulling up through there. So you can just see his athleticism. He locks on. He's got length. Again, we feel really good about Alex. Reagan Gill, Jersey Village out of Houston. Big body. Just when you think of a Texas offensive lineman, you kind of think of Reagan. Will probably play inside for us. He's playing left tackle here. Go to the next one. Again, you just see guys that can get on blocks, finish them, get out in space. Even the bigger guys, that's what we're looking for. So we felt really good about those 3 high school offensive linemen. And then this is one that's signed with us. He won't be here till the summer, but Logan Parr went to the University of Texas. He's from the state of Texas, near the San Antonio area. He's got a lot of position versatility for us as both a guard and potentially could play some center. You'll see him here at Texas. And again, the clips are hard to see. He's playing left guard. Has played in plenty of games there at the University of Texas. He's the guy putting the guy on the ground here in the backfield at the end. This other one's a lawyer. He's playing center here. So again, he plays guard, 1 snap, center. So even if you have a good starting center, again, it's kind of like a quarterback. You can never have enough linemen who can snap. So if you have an injury, you can move guys around and not miss a beat. That happened to us at times this year when, like, for instance, Jalen Thomas went and played center. But you can see him here getting up to the second level, getting on a linebacker from there from Kansas and springing it all the way. So we're excited to have Logan coming as well. Now you get into kind of the tackle world a little bit. P.J. Williams. P.J. was at Texas A&M. Before that was at Dickinson High School here in Texas. Was a top 100 player, I think, 4-star coming out of high school. When you start thinking about a long, athletic offensive tackle, this is what you look for. You'll see him. He's the left tackle. He's going to get up to the second level, and you can just see long athleticism. No, you're laughing at that one. Just wait for the next one. Like, he just jumps up. I mean, that just looks athletic. Like, you know what I mean? I would pull something if I just did that. So now you'll watch him here. Watch him finish this one. We're probably going to go ahead and apologize for some post-snap 15-yard penalties in his career, if that's okay. It's going to be for reasons like this. He's the guy taking the guy into the end zone. The officials feeling like he's got to go save him. And you see 17's like, man, can he do that? Yes, he can. So we're excited about PJ. PJ, now here's, and I probably should have said it about a lot of these guys, he's got 4 years to play. You know, Hiram White is one that has 1, but from DeSoto, has started at the University of Missouri before. And he's just a really massive human. I'm just being honest. Right tackle, blocking down a guy. I did it again. I skipped one. Let's see. Let me go back. All right, here we go. He's that guy, the big one. But so you got him, you got Marcus Prime, you got PJ. I already showed you Sean. We've got a couple of. So you feel like, you know, starting to really do a good job of getting some good size and athleticism to tackle. And again, that's another example of someone who went to a great school like Missouri, had a good career, started. Then he got hurt. That's the only reason he didn't start last year. He's now healthy, and he's transferring back home for his last year. Again, like I said, he's from DeSoto. And the last of the 7 linemen, Ja'Kai Clark. Ja'Kai's a young man actually out of Atlanta that was already on the roster when we got to Miami as a freshman, but played for us both years at guard and at center. This is him last year playing center. Again, just like Logan Parr, you know, we feel really good about Branson Hickman, but now you've got multiple guys that can play guard, can play center. This is Ja'Kai playing center. Again, it's always there. Oh, we know who that running back is. Just, he's here too. I lied though, he does get caught here. Yeah, Coach Hall will get in for that. We have a new rule, you're not allowed to get caught at running back here. So you can see Ja'Kai reaching a D lineman on the outside stretch play there and then finishing him off. So again, another guy, by the way, Ja'Kai has the most starts. He has 40 career starts. Wow. He started as a guard at freshman at Miami, played for us as a guard our second year, played some guard and center our last year, and played center this year. So position versatility, but experience as far as that goes. Now you get into the defensive side of the ball. Go to the D-line, 5 D-linemen. Damian Wimberly Day out of Vandergrift. Again, big time athletic link, all-state player, beat schools like Auburn had offered this guy. They were in the state championship game this year. And again, you just, with his hands on the ground, you can see how long and athletic he looks. And then he does stuff like that, you know. And let's see, you can see him up top here, just running through the tackle, making the sack. Having guys that can come off the edge and, you know, affect the game is something we need to improve on from a roster standpoint. We feel like Day does that. Braden Flowers, he's actually already here, working out of San Antonio. Again, all-state athletic. Here's how athletic he is. You're not going to see a defensive line clip on these two. He's playing quarterback here, and he's going to throw it because he thinks he's Tim Tebow. And now he's playing tight end here, and he's going to catch it. So Coach Tibbs has his work cut out for him to make him happy. So I guess Coach Tibbs, he's going to have to scoop and score and pick off a few balls like your D-lineman did in game 1 last year. Then you go to Kevin Allen. Again, Kevin was an all-state defensive lineman, a nose tackle, who also was the district MVP in his league. And you're going to see his athleticism. So we thought we got someone playing the edge. Maybe even move into 3 technique. Same thing with Braden. Now you got Kevin here as a nose. So the 3 high school defensive linemen, all from the state of Texas, all state players. We got 2 transfer D linemen. Jordan Miller, an interior player at the University of Miami. You're going to see here what he brings to the table. A real true run-stopping nose tackle. And, you know, we know it all starts on defense with stopping the run, and we feel like he's going to add a lot to that part. He can still get after the QBs, though. And then here he is. You're going to see him split a double team here to make the play. 2 guys try to block him. They can't. That's a good thing for the defense. Then another one, Jordan's only got 1 year to play. He's an older player. Elijah Roberts is younger. He's out of Columbus High School there in Miami. Had played there 2 years at Miami, had been productive, played D in the first year, played some 3 technique this year. Probably could play some in for us, but also could grow inside as well. Some position flexibility there. Again, you're going to see him playing more of like a 4-eye or a 3 technique here. Number 99. And again, another good young athletic defensive lineman with a bunch of years. And so again, 5 D linemen, 7 O linemen, 5 D linemen, so 12 of the 33 players play on the line of scrimmage. And that's where the game is often won and lost on both sides of the ball. Coach Justice and I were talking the other day, and he brought up just the Philadelphia Eagles. They changed their O&D line and they're playing in the Super Bowl, even though a lot of those other guys get the credit. 3 linebackers. This is Alex Kilgore, one of the best linebackers in the entire state, was a state champion. I just think he's a big-time impact athlete. You're going to see him here. And again, his first clip is he's playing running back. So, but you're going to see his speed and athleticism as a running back right here. And a lot of times, you know, really good high school running backs, tight ends become good linebackers. Sometimes safeties grow into them, but you can see him here, his athleticism in space. He's going to drop back and pick the ball off. Got good size. Again, he's a guy, he's here now, which will give him a chance to maybe make a pretty big impact. Brandon Maizano from up the road in Frisco. Brandon, another 2-way player. He was their starting quarterback till he got hurt as well, and their middle linebacker, so he's got a lot of athleticism, versatility. You know, he's a leader type, playing Mike, playing quarterback, and you can see his ability in space to make this tackle. Here he is again. In space, in coverage. So we're excited to have those 2 guys coming out of the high school ranks, and then we do have a transfer linebacker, Ahmad Walker, coming from Liberty. So again, you go back to some of those guys that don't have the connections to the state of Texas, but they had a connection to Coach Simons, they had a connection to Coach Hundley and Messer and those guys that were at Liberty. Leading tackler there, I believe, or one of them. You're going to see him come off the edge here, blow up the RPO.
Nice.
So you can talk about experience, production. He's got a ton of starts under his belt, but he's also played in the scheme, played in the system. Takes a lot to get there, but he picks the ball off. So, again, good connection, good continuity there, and I think will definitely fit in well for us. Now you go to the last position group, is the DBs. Again, we had 6 DBs, 5 transfers. This is the lone high school DB right now. Amir Abdul Muhammad from South Oak Cliff as well, and again, another 2-time state champ. The way he plays the game, this first clip takes a while. Quarterback's going to run around, I'll speed it up. He's going to make an interception in the end zone, which is good. But you'll see the second clip that he's got the ability to play like that nickel position and really come off the top, off the edge, and really tackle well in space and be a physical player. He plays the game hard, plays the game the right way. And again, he's used to winning. You get state champions are used to winning. Jonathan McGill, I think he's got 24 career starts. He was a team captain at Stanford, so he graduated and was a team captain, and he's got 2 years here. He was from Coppell. He's another good example. We tried to recruit him here out of high school. I remember when I was office coordinator here. He went to Stanford, but now he's coming here. A lot of leadership, a lot of experience. He's what you'll hear coaches say this, and you'll probably think as a fan that's a cop-out. He's a football player. Like, that's just the best way to describe him. He's a football player. If he played offense, he would help us. You know what I mean? He'd probably play soft receiver, running back, and be a good football player. He'll be good on special teams. Coach Simons can put him in all 3 of our safeties positions. You know, he's a football player. He's got instincts. He knows how to play the game. And again, 24 career starts, used to playing those big moments. All right, Jalen Davis Robinson, known as Smoke. Probably the fastest person that has a track time. I would like to see him and Keyshawn Smith race, but he's sub 10.5, I believe, when he was in high school. At least that's what I'm told. Was a freshman. This is going to be his high school coach. He was a freshman and didn't play at LSU this year, though, as a true freshman. Did not start, but did play. But you see him here at the bottom of the page. You're going to see that, or bottom of the screen, excuse me, that he's got physicality as a corner. I mean, he blows up the spot screen, gets the guy on the ground, and then you're going to see him here at the top of the screen as a blitzer. He's got really good size, really good length, and again, he can roll. So you got guys like him, and then even a year ago, A.J. Davis out of Skyline was a young freshman corner that we think is going to be a good player that can really run. Chris Magnuson, the second most starts of anybody. He's got 33 career starts, the second Liberty young man. He's from Virginia, but again, with Coach Hunley, Coach Simons, just the continuity and the experience in the system, the production is there. Ability to close on the ball, make plays on the ball in the air down the field without pass interference. That's the hardest thing to do as a DB. Obviously, we need to get better at that, and I think he's a guy who does that very well. You know, he doesn't panic and grab the receiver here. He plays the ball. You got another example here. It's number 4. Again, ball in the air down the field. Moment's not too big for him, makes a play. All right, C.J. Sanders, again, kind of 13 career starts weirdly at Fresno State, but he's from the state in high school, from New Caney High School in Porter, Texas. He's got a lot of flexibility. He can play corner, he can play nickel, he can play safety. He's a big physical athlete, plays the game the right way. He would be one of those I'd probably put in the football player category a little bit. Again, playing the ball in the air. You can see he's got decent size there. And all DBs have to tell everybody he's incomplete, so he's okay. As if nobody else knew. And then you'll see him here on the sidelines. Good, yeah, he got held, right? And then the last one, again, 33 guys takes a while. Charles Woods, again, coming from West Virginia and Illinois State. Coach Keenan Hall, Coach Hunley did a good job, but Coach Keenan Hall had the relationship again. He's from Dallas, Kimball High School, but Coach Keenan Hall coached at Illinois State. And so, again, it always still goes back to relationships and what he's able to do. Charles has played a lot of ball, had an injury a year ago, but the year before that was argued as a guy who might be coming out early for the draft. He's got 29 career starts, and you see the field he's on and the interception he's making. It's a good thing. We're going to ask him to make a few there next year. He's just got to finish it in the end zone next year. All right, and then here he is again. Breaking the pass up there at the end. So that's it. That's the 33 guys that have currently signed with us. I think our staff did a great job of identifying the areas that we wanted to add value to our roster. I want to make it very clear, we love the players on our roster. We think we've got good players coming back on our roster. The whole idea is to add value to our team, whether it's depth at a position, we've lost guys to graduation and whatnot and fill those holes. So it's a good mix of high school and college, but we got the right kind of guys that fit what we need. Now, it looks good on paper, it looks good on video. We've just started these first few weeks of trying to build a team. And again, 14 of them and maybe more to be named later aren't even here yet. So we've got the spring to start that team building process, and then we've got the summer as well. Last year, if you remember, we had 30 new faces show up in June. So we may not have 30 in June, we got 19 of them now, which is good, but we'll still have a good number in June, both high school and transfers. And so it's part of the way it is in college football now. You're constantly trying to build your team anew every year. But feel really good about these guys that we brought in. So I'm going to give it to Coach Natty, right? Okay, I don't know how to introduce you like you do me, but Coach Natty's going to come up here and talk to some of the coaches about it.
All right.
So if we get our coaches up here to sit up front and look pretty.
All right.
Come on, fellas. So kind of what we're going to do right now is just have open-ended questions, so you guys get to know the recruits a little bit better, and these guys can talk about kind of what makes them special, and we're going to be able to talk about every single recruit, obviously, since we have a ridiculous number of recruits, but we're going to, come on. Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah. Coach Huntley and everybody else. So what we're gonna do is just kind of ask open-ended questions. These guys can plug in the names of whoever they want to talk about, so you guys get a better understanding of who the guys are recruiting, kind of what makes them tick, what makes them special. First question we'll open up with is, what do you think the strongest attribute of this player is, and what sets him apart from other players that you recruited? That you guys can plug in the name and talk about whoever you want. Who wants to go first?
I'll take a quarterback right here.
Yep. I got you.
Talking about Keldrick Luster a little bit. As a quarterback coach, you go all over the country to find guys that can throw the football, guys that have that special it factor. When you fly around, you see all these guys throw and all this stuff, and you see them, they're committed to these places and this places, and finally, you get around to see a guy like Keldrick, and you see him throw, and then really the biggest quality is when you talk to him in person, and him and his family came up here in person, and you just realize what kind of quality of human being he is, what kind of leader he is, to lead two different teams to big wins, right? To win a lot of games, to take them to the playoffs. We talked about this with Kevin, last year, it means something to play for a team with good players on it. Because good players want to be around other good players. Good players want to be led by good players, right? And so you see Keldrick, he goes to McKinney, and he's surrounded by some really, really good players. But usually, really good players, if you're not a good player and you're not a good leader, they ain't gonna follow you, right? They know. And Keldrick has that ability. He has that ability to bring people around him and to excel. And so, we're really excited about what he's gonna bring for us here. He's got a great family. He's a great football player. He's a dynamic kid. He's bigger than you would probably see in a quarterback. He's like 220. He's got thick legs. He almost looks like a running back for Coach Hall. You know what I mean? But he can throw the football and he can spin it. And he's a winner. And that's a big deal for our room, so.
Anybody else want to tee that up on?
So, you talk about a superpower, and the offensive lineman, a lot of it is just being there, being available. And Ja'Kai Clark is, you talk about a guy who started over 40 games in college. Now, with COVID and the COVID rule, because that exists, that can happen now. But just a story on Ja'Kai. So, going into 2021, spring game of 2021, we're in Miami. He had a great spring. The night of the spring game, no foul play, but gets in a car accident and separates his shoulder, has to have surgery. He has the whole off season where he can't do any of the workouts. But Ja'Kai's a guy who is versatile and smart and understands the game. And our conversations with Ja'Kai going into that off season are, we're going to try and redshirt you because we know you didn't get that. You didn't get that development. You didn't get the off season. You didn't get the what you need to be able to play as your best. But if we have a lot of injuries, you may have to play. And we go week 3 after week 3. It's like a bomb goes off in the offensive line room, as it sometimes happens. And we had that conversation with Ja'Kai, and we probably got better when he became our center. And he's a guy that anytime we've needed him, I know when I coached him at the University of Miami, he was always there. He was always available. He's a guy who has started 1 full year at left guard, 1 full year at right guard, 2 full years at center. So now he gives us flexibility, he gives us durability, and we're excited about what his future is here next year with us.
On another interesting note, Hiram White from Missouri has been designated as a campus bomb shelter. So if there's a severe weather event here today, everyone hides under Hiram. He goes about 6'7", 330 if he's a biscuit. Anybody else?
I'll talk about Jordan Miller. His best attribute was his girth, his size. 6'3", 315. You want big athletic guys in the middle, and he's one of them guys in pregame. When the other team look down there, they'll be like, "How the heck did you get that guy?" He's big, he's athletic, and we needed more girth in the middle. And he's one of those guys that when that ball's running downhill, he's a guy that should be able to control the A gap and the B gap. So I'm really excited about him.
And for us on offense, I think obviously Rooster, his skill set. Yes, his big playmaking ability. He's just an elite ball player. And when you look into his eyes, you know he's a ball player. He's a football guy. And I think that's going to bring some to our room where you see a guy like that that's going to work hard, that's going to bring it every day, that's going to show up every day. It's going to make our room better. But his skill set just it separates itself from everybody else in the room. But he's just a big time playmaker, and it's going to bring a lot of sparks to offense.
Yeah, my guy was Keyshawn Smith, coached him at Miami, and when he jumped into the portal, we got on an airplane and flew on down there, but deep down I was a little concerned. I didn't know if he wanted to be coached by me again, because I was really hard on Keyshawn as a freshman and a sophomore. And I was really tough on him. So I was concerned whether he wanted to be coached by me and all that stuff. And so when we got into the process, he's got elite speed now. He can run, and any team in the country would love to have had Keyshawn Smith. And he had a lot of opportunities, Pac-12 opportunities, ACC opportunities, Big Ten opportunities at some big schools. But he came and he visited here first, and he said, I want to be coached by you and Coach Lashlee and you guys again. And so he's extremely loyal to a lot of the guys sitting up here, extremely loyal to Coach Lashlee. And that made me very excited. And he loves football, and he is so hungry. So excited about him.
So, as we know, playing on the field is 50% of the equation. Chemistry off the field, I think, is obviously 50% of the equation. Give us one player, from your position group you think is gonna bring something to the locker room that's gonna help, our team chemistry, our team vibe and add value, to who we are off the field.
I would say, for us in that defensive back room, in the corner room specifically, you look at a guy like Jonathan McGill, who's been at Stanford, who's been a captain, who's had all the starts that Coach mentioned under his belt. A guy like that steps in and he has immediate credibility amongst his peers, not just from us as coaches. But then when they watch him work and they watch the effort that he puts forth, and him actually even getting after guys already in our workouts in the morning, that's just who he is, and it's contagious. Now guys that are here in our program that are leaders as well, gravitate toward him, but then also learn from him, hey, this is another way to lead, or this is the right way to lead, and he learns from those guys as well. So our expectation of what he brings to the table from an intangible, or intangibles outside of just the game of football, and who he is as a person overall. You see it right now, and it makes you even more excited for what you'll see when we get to the spring and into camp.
For us in the linebacker room, talking about Ahmad, really excited about him. He definitely brings that experience that we need on the linebacking corps. He's familiar with the defense, familiar with Coach Simons a lot, and just he and I, just initially, our initial conversations, like you can tell this guy's a football junkie. He's the guy that, like, he wants all the film, he wants to be coached. Even for a guy who's played a lot of football, he's excited about an opportunity to be coached by different guys, get different information, because he just wants to make himself better. And I think when you have that guy and you insert him in the room, I think it instantly brings everybody to that level. Because he's played the most, he has the most production, but when you tie it in with the rest of the group, I think it's going to be really good for us.
Not necessarily in my room, but a guy I was familiar with at Miami is Elijah Roberts. And Elijah is coming to Dallas, Texas with a huge chip on his shoulder. Just didn't, the playing aspect of his career at Miami didn't go as he envisioned it. And the month or so he's been here so far, dude is hungry. I think we're going to be excited. I think Coach Tibbs is going to be excited to get around that dude.
All right, as coaches, and a lot of times when the season starts, we have a checklist of things we want to see, both from a team and individual standpoint. So give us a player from your group and the one thing you're most excited about seeing them do, seeing them display, seeing you check the box, he can do this, he can do that, and seeing him do it with us, either this spring if he's here or in the fall camp.
I really think all three of those freshman linemen have a ton of upside for what we're doing. Sean Scott's a guy who is relatively new to football, and he's almost like a small child. Everything's just great, and like, wow, this is amazing. And when you give him that knowledge, you can see him soaking it up, and his potential of what he's going to be able to do with his frame, with his athleticism, with his intelligence, with his character, all those things. You're really excited about it. You take a guy like Alex Woods, I don't know where his body's going to go. His brother was an all-conference center for me at Florida Atlantic. He played tackle in college. We watched his film. He may be a better guard. We don't know what's going to happen with him, but his versatility and his character as well is something that's pretty impressive. And then you take a guy like Ray McGill, who can throw a baseball 90 mile an hour, and he's just an overall good athlete. His sister's a water polo player at Marist. So he's just a smooth athlete that, again, I don't know where those three guys go, but I know you look at all three of those freshmen and see their potential, and you're just excited for what the next couple of years look like for those guys.
I would say Braden Flowers. He's big, he's athletic. I'm just curious to see all that athleticism, how it translates to helping our D-line. His dad was a first-round draft pick. His brother played at Oklahoma, so it's in his bloodline. He's 6'3", 255, and you're just curious what his frame's going to do. He's a guy that'll start outside, but he'll eat his way eventually into inside. So I'm curious to see, after that first 9-on-7 drill, that look in his eye, to make sure that he responds the right way. But really excited about that athleticism.
Second guy I'm excited about is L.J. Johnson. Like Coach said, he was number 2 back in the country coming out. Kamar was 1, he was 2, and in the state of Texas. And he went to A&M. Was promised a lot of things. A big time ball. I'm ready to see how he responds here, coming here. Having Kamar here, having Jalen Knight here, Rooster here. I just love what I've seen from the kids so far. Just seeing how he's gonna fit in, how he's gonna what style of back he's gonna be. Because we were thinking he's gonna be more of a downhill, taller Levine, but he showcased in the last few weeks that he has speed, he has good feet and ability. So I'm very excited to see what kind of back he's gonna be. He's gonna be with us for the next 3 years, so I'm very excited to see what that young man's gonna do in the offense.
I say probably specifically at corner. You're talking about Jalen Davis Robinson. You hear us call him Smoke, and it's because he can flat out run. And so now when you couple the athleticism that he has with him still having a ceiling that we don't know where that is right now. He's like Coach said, he's a buck. He only has a semester of college under his belt, so everything is new to him. Class, practice, the way we play, all of those things. And so for us, that's probably one of the most exciting things is when you get a guy that hasn't been molded and you get to mold him into the man that he becomes, not just a football player. Then you're really excited when you watch him, and then when you see his physical attributes and what he's able to do as an athlete. You talk about a guy who has a chance to be special, as long as he takes care of the business he has to as well.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about Romello Brinson. We had him as a true freshman for 1 year at Miami, and then he dove for a pass in our very last game, and then he had to get shoulder surgery, so he missed all the spring for the new coaching staff at Miami, and then for whatever happens, he did not play a lot last year, and I think he got humbled. He was a really highly recruited kid coming out of high school, and he views this now as his second chance, like we were talking about Elijah. He has a chip on his shoulder. There's one thing that I'm excited about what he's going to bring to the table is that he's fearless. I watched that kid as a true freshman just every Saturday go out and pick a fight with the DBs out in the ACC of guys that were seniors, and he's not afraid of anything, and he's really tough. He's kind of got, as the kids would say, he's got that dog mentality, and I think he's going to bring that to our room.
Before we ask the last question, I just want to say I'm really excited for you all to get around these guys and to get to know these new players. The guys that are on campus, I think all of us will say that they're a joy to be around. And a lot of the pre-existing relationships, we're able to really dive deep in the character side of recruiting these guys. And so they're good human beings. I don't want to work with anybody that I don't want around my wife and kids. I really don't want to coach anybody that I don't want around my wife and kids. And I can say that everyone that we've signed checks that box. The last question, used to take y'all however y'all want. One of the things you hear a lot of times commentators and coaches talk about someone's style of play, right? Or a team's style of play. Our style is this. It's kind of an ambiguous, term, but it's important. And who's out of your group or anywhere really across the board, whose style of play who's coming in really excites you and I think it's going to excite these people in the room?
So you look at Keldrick, right? And what we pride ourselves on offense is we build what we do on offense around what our quarterback can do, right? We've had guys from De'Aaron King to Tyler Van Dyke, right? Guys that are maybe shorter than 6 foot, guys that are 6'5", right? We've had them all in our offense. They've been successful because we build around what they can do. This dude can be a downhill running quarterback that has got a cannon for an arm. And so you can imagine what it's going to pose problems for the defense is it's going to force them to say, hey, we've got to add an extra guy in the box to defend the run. We've got to defend the quarterback. And what does that do for Coach Likens' guys out wide? Get one-on-one matchups, right? And so you got to account for a guy like him in the offense, and we structure things around what he does really well. So really looking forward to that.
Yes, Keyshawn for me, because I think what's gonna happen, it's gonna be a different dynamic. We all know what Rasheed brought to the table last year. You don't replace somebody like Rasheed. He's like, man, that dude just went up and made it. There was no such thing as 50-50. It was, 90-10, really, when the ball was up in the air. But what we're going to do now is we're going to put somebody opposite of Jordan Curley with the same type of speed and the elite speed. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how defenses are going to try to match that up with two elite, really fast guys, and also bring a little bit of size to the table as well. Like Jordan Curley has actually gained around 10 pounds already. This is his real first off season that he's ever had in his career. So he's now bigger, and now on the other side of him, he's got another guy that can run almost maybe faster than him. So that's going to be really exciting to see.
I know Coach Woods talks to the media after this, but someone in his room, I think anytime you have the nickname Man, it imposes a style of play, and as a tight end, he got that nickname on the 7-on-7 circuit, just using his physical nature with DBs, and it's just going to be really interesting defending what he can do in our offense come fall and watching him play against opposing defenses.
I'm excited about both guys. Just hit on Rooster real quick. Like I spoke of earlier, his explosiveness, and when he gets the ball in his hand, he's very dynamic. And I think what we were missing this year in offense is that explosive back that could take it 60, take it 70. And I think he has the ability to do that. And also just being able to catch the ball out the backfield and make plays and make guys missing open space. And he showed that on the clips, but that's what I'm excited about. And then you got the other guy that's, like I said, LJ. And I think they're going to work hand in hand. They're going to be a good complementary of each other. And I'm ready to see how those guys work together and bring the excitement through the offense, because I think both of them are going to be very, very explosive.
I would say the versatility of Damian Wimberly, we call him Day. Just curious to see what happened when Grizz gets his hands on his body. He's long and athletic. He's a former basketball player. And, when you get big athletic guys that can do multiple things, it helps you schematically. So just curious to see what his body does and how that versatility helps us up front. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to leave any of the guys out, so I'll mention a couple of the other transfers. I mean, Coach Natty talking a reference with Hiram with his size. I mean, you're looking at basically a spitting image of Marcus Bryant on the other side of the formation, which is pretty impressive, and it's hard for a group of 5 school to really look that way, is what he brings to the table from that standpoint. Logan Barr's that lineman you don't know about, but is always there, right? And he's a guy who's steady. You don't notice him doing anything great, you don't notice him doing bad, but he plays the whole year, plays really, really well, and is a big part of what you're trying to do and a big part of your success, and we're excited about that. And then you guys saw the film with PJ Williams, just how athletic, how explosive he is. He's a ball of clay in a lot of ways, and he was a basketball player that kind of turned on the football late. So where he goes, how he develops, what role he fills is kind of up to just his progression. I know it's going to be something really, really special when it gets there. It's just what the timetable looks like we're unsure of, but excited about all 3 of those guys.
For me in the linebacker, when we talk about style, like linebacker is a mentality, not just a position, right? And for Kilgore as a young freshman walking in here, it's been really impressive just to watch him go. He doesn't back down from anyone or any challenge or anything in the linebacker room, and that's the mentality you have to have in order to be a successful linebacker. He has the skill set as well. We saw him play running back. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. When you put that together with the right mindset, you have the right style of play.
Yes, I'll finish it up with the last 3 DBs, just collectively looking at them, those are the 3 guys that have played and have the most experience outside of McGill that are coming into that room. So, we talk about them embodying being fast, physical, and fearless. Those are the 3 things that we hang our hat on in the back end. And C.J. Sanders definitely embodies that. That's why Coach talks about the versatility that he has. But When you talk about Chris Magnuson as well as Charles Woods, those are guys with 30-plus starts in their respective careers. That moments aren't too big for them, games aren't too big for them. That we expect to come in and have a maturity and have shown right off the bat a maturity that's going to help us to continue to elevate who we are at that particular position group. So extremely excited about those guys rounding out the group for us.
Well, I've been coaching since '97, and one of the things that has always been synonymous with good teams that I've been able to coach or be on is the number of nicknames in the locker room. So anytime you have a Smoke and a Day and a Man and a Rooster, chances are you're going to be pretty darn good. Coach came in the staff room last spring and said, guys, I want guys with nicknames, and I want guys with 2-letter names, preferably ending in J. And we thought, man, that's really specific. But we went out and we got LJ, CJ, and PJ, and he said, good job, man. And we're really excited because we executed exactly what he asked for. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm already losing sleep. My wife is tired of hearing about our transfers, our high school guys. My mom has been sick recently, and I've been taking care of her. And she doesn't mind. She can tell you everything about our entire recruiting roster, front to top. I've told her a million times about it. Anyway, listen, it's an exciting time for all of us. We're undefeated right now, and it feels good. And hopefully we can all meet here over Christmas break and we have the exact same record. So thanks so much for coming. Thank you for your support. Can't wait for you guys to get around these young men and get around this staff more, because both are going to be a pleasure for you. And I appreciate your time. Pony up.
Thank you.